Hi everyone, welcome back. This is Gina once again. It's been a while, but I have 3 pages that I'm doing today. Number 57, 58, and 59 of creating. So I was actually kind of tidying up my desk because it was in a real mess. I had a little project to do and it just got terribly messy and I got turned off by it actually. So I stayed away for a while, not on purpose. It just happened and I decided that I'm going to clean it up because I really miss creating. It's been on my mind every day. And I just took off all the papers that I had on it and I was just cleaning it up and, changing it up, making it look a little clear and clean and fresh and more inviting. So this is the paper that I had stuck down on my desk. And instead of throwing it away, I thought maybe I could get some use out of it because we have some okay-ish colors. It's not too dark, it's kind of bright. I find that sometimes my creating is kind of dark, so and I liked some of the marks that there was on it, so I thought I would try to salvage some. So I started out cutting out with a heart, and then I was like, maybe I should actually tape it, and who knows where I'll end up, right? Because you know how it goes with me. I start one thing and then I end up doing so many other things that I didn't plan on. So here I'm just cutting out some shapes, some squares, some curves, just trying to get some shapes in of different sizes and different types of shapes. So we have straight lines and we have some curves. How are you all doing? It's been a while. I think it's been about 3 weeks since I posted. Definitely was not intentional. My plan was to try to at least, for the very least, to do one a week. But it's been tough. It's been really tough. Sometimes in our lives, we just go through things and time is really not what we need it to be and what we expect it to be. So I hope you all have been well. I hope you all have been creating and progressing in some way in your art. I actually, because time has been so limited for me and things have been hectic in all spheres of my life, I was actually thinking of doing what do you call it? Not really an art mural, but to just have a piece of paper stuck on my wall, and every time I pass by it, well, not every time, but every day, when I pass, I'd add some sort of mark to it. I came really close to doing it, but I didn't. But it's in my mind, so I probably will. So tell me what do you all do when you all are stuck in a rut? So these are my shapes. I'm just kind of gonna sort them out now by shape. So we have some heart-ish looking shapes in one set. We have the curvy stuff in another set. We have the straight cut lines. I think there may be squares and rectangles in another pile. So I just kind of sorted them out to help me find them easier. And I thought, let's try and use it one time. I have 3 pages to do to finish off this what do you call it? A booklet? My signature. So I thought, okay, let's try and do that. So my base today would be book pages. I don't know, I have a thing with book pages these days. And because the cutouts are so light, I thought I would create a darker base. Here I was trying to put the paint on without sticking them together, but it wasn't working. So I'm just getting some masking tape and sticking all the pages together so I could create on my base and just get some paint down. I'm using the brayer because it's faster and I love the texture and the marks that they make. I don't know if the brayer makes a really nice texture. It's nice and rough. It's just really nice. So I'm putting in my contrasting color, which is the blue. And it turned out to be a lot more than I expected. I really didn't want so much blue. So I'm kind of And then also, I was impatient with time, so I didn't allow things to dry as much as they should have. So here I know that the blue is still wet and I didn't want to create brown, so I'm just kind of very lightly pushing against the orange so I could get the orange showing. So I decided to, you see some parts looking kind of greeny brown, it looks kind of gross, but I really wasn't in the mood to perfect this base layer. I just wanted to get my paper stuck down. So I decided that I would stick them down as is. And while I was doing it, I was thinking, should I kind of push them to the back? Should I add some white and just, push some areas to the back after I stick them down, or even before? I don't know. And then I was like, you know what, just stick them down and then we'll see where your thoughts go from there. So now I'm just going to look at my pieces, try and sort them through and figure out where I want things and how I might want to use them. But the intention is to use the booklet, the signature, to complete it, because it was just 3 pieces that I had left. And then, I don't know, I couldn't find it. I spent, I'm not going to lie, about half an hour looking for it. You know when you swear you put something somewhere and then it's not there and then you're really clueless? And then, so when that happens to me, yes, I get very annoyed, but I usually ask God to show me where it is, and He does. I find it. So I did eventually find it. Eventually. Because remember, I kind of tidied up the desk, so I knew it wasn't on the desk, even though in my mind, in the past, it's supposed to be on the desk. But anyway, I did eventually find it. So here I'm just using regular glue. I actually refilled this bottle. It's supposed to have clear glue in it, but I refilled it with white glue because I like the tip of it. I like the size of it. I find the glue that comes out is a nice size for the glue to come out for smaller areas than if I used my regular glue bottle. So that's what I did. But I actually prefer the clear glue that comes in it. It feels thicker and stickier for some reason. I don't know if it's in my mind, but it feels like if it's thicker, and because I think in my mind if it's thicker then it's stickier. I think that's the problem. But I still use the white glue, and I feel like the white glue is still better than glue stick, because I feel like white glue, liquid glue, is actually stronger than glue stick. Yeah, that's how things are working out in my mind. But I'm actually enjoying this working on these pages. I like it a lot. Normally I work on what? I work on other types of paper. I work on watercolor paper or even mixed media paper. I've actually worked on drawing paper, but it's usually plain paper. But it was really nice working on this. And what I tried to do with the braille was to, yes, add the paint, but I also left some areas where I could actually still see the words coming through. So there is an element of texture there, which I really, really like. I do. And I love how these shapes see, and I don't know, this whole piece that just seems very, it's about hearts, boy. And my mind and my this time I really wasn't feeling all lovey-dovey at all. I don't know where all these I guess hearts are easy, but that's not where my mind was at all. I wasn't all happy and lovey-dovey. So it's very interesting when you create the things that come out. So maybe I did have a lot inside. I didn't use that big piece because I love the texture up in that corner and I didn't want to cover it up. So that's why I'm using this smaller piece, because I wanted something there for sure, but nothing to cover up all that nice texture. Still covered up too much in my opinion. That's the problem I actually had with putting some of these down, because there was some bits of texture that I really liked and I did not want to cover up. But I did. I really enjoyed this. And even the parts where the tape is, those were yummy. I don't know, every time I use masking tape, it just makes me so happy. It really makes me happy. And I'm using a plastic spreader. I got this from a variety store. I think they use it for paint, like house paint and stuff. Or if you want to spread other, probably if you're doing any kind of household work and you're probably filling in a hole and you use that to spread, I figure that's what it's for. Package didn't say. But I figure that's what they think we'd use it for, not for actual art. So yeah, this was fun. This was real as usual. It was fun. It was therapeutic. It was, I realize, because I've been doing a lot of thinking, there's been a lot happening. And I realized that I really would like to create more, even if it's not the way that I need and want. But I really need to keep my desk in a certain order for my mental health. And I also, which would help me to actually create more, which is what I need. It makes me happy because I thought about it. Here now I'm searching for any fillers that I could put in, in other places. Ended up pulling out just a couple of things, nothing much in this scrap bowl that I have. And you see the bowl is small and I put it, the container is small and I put it in a bigger bowl. I mean, that is defeating the whole purpose. We are supposed to keep it down, Gina. Keep it down. But anyway. So I pulled out a couple of things that I thought I could use. I actually have hats in there. And then I had these small stencils that I was supposed to use on a different project. And I thought about using it here, but it didn't, I don't know, it didn't have the right vibe. So I really like these purple pieces when I put them down, and for some reason I just couldn't get them to feel right. And then this is a piece of index card, and I just couldn't get myself to cut it. Yeah, I couldn't get myself to cut it. So I found this, I found this piece of book page. So I thought, let me add some more text, because there's text below the paint that you could kind of see. So let me add some text on top to help tie in with that and help it balance off a bit. And I like it. Oh, I like it. And then while I was doing this, I was thinking, should I add some paint on top to help blend it into the page instead of having it just look like it's stuck? But I think this round, I didn't mind it looking like it was just stuck on. I didn't feel like blending it in. So what have y'all been up to? How is your Christmas shaping up? Because it's getting to be about that time. What are you doing? Are you doing Christmas projects, Christmas cards to send to friends, Christmas other things to send to friends? What have you been creating? Has your creating turned Christmas themed? Are you, I don't know. I feel every year like I should create Christmas themed, but then something, I don't know, it doesn't happen. And sometimes I actually have to force it. It's very strange. And it's not because I actually really love Christmas. It makes me feel happier and lighter. But I always struggle with that. This year, I am not even decorating at home. I chose not to because right now it's just too much for me. I've decided that I will not stress about what I can and cannot do, and I'll just do what I can and just leave the rest and just enjoy the little bits in the day that I can. So yeah. So I decided to layer this hat. I liked how the blue looked. I just kind of rested down and I was like, hey, that's looking kind of okay. So I used it. I cut it down a bit, and now I'm going to cut out this shape to layer on top of this big piece in the left corner here because it's just too big. And I thought about layering some other pieces, but I kind of want to keep it simple at the same time. So I found that this was looking too plain, and I felt like it needed a middle piece because it felt like it was just big and then small. So I felt like it needed a middle piece between those two sizes. So I found this in my little container on my right. This, I think it's tracing paper. And I'm just cutting it down to fit it in between. And I like that you could see through it, but not really. So it adds, it's kind of like a semi-layer. And I like that it's the same-ish color. Strange as it sounds. Normally I would try to find something contrasting to go in the middle there. But, so I decided to stop here and then get my book out half an hour later. But the magic of editing shows that it was like an instant later. So I'm checking to see how many pages I actually need. And now I'm going to try to figure out where I want to put what piece. My intention actually was just to cut it up and then fit them in after, but I ended up doing it this way instead. I was like, let me see which part could fit where first, and then I'll cut it out. What I like about doing these things, I like the bulk idea of creating one sheet and then, putting it different places. I found that the one on the right, it looked a little plain and I felt like it needed something. So I was just trying to fit up a couple of things to see if it looked okay. But then I was like, nah, Gina, just leave it alone. So we have these hearts filling in on this page. I thought about cutting it down. I still might, I don't know. But I like how it looks. And then I have this back page. And I really, really love this heart. But I didn't want to put it on the back because it's the back. I loved this piece so much. And then I did this and I thought, oh, that looks so much better because it has a little border now. So that looks good. And then I thought maybe I could do it as a flip up. So I'm creasing it really well. And then I'm going to stick that part down. But I really, really like this piece a lot. So then I'm thinking, okay, if I flip this up, then I'll have to put something below it. So while I'm thinking about that, I'm trying to highlight the different layers on this piece that I did now. And here comes the dark. And because I did that on the layers, I'm just doing the outline on the other piece just directly above it. And then because I added this dark here, I thought I need to add some black somewhere else on the page. So I'm going to add some on the top left. But this was fun to do today. I was so happy that I decided to do it. Really, really happy actually. And I'm also happy that I finished the signature. I am contemplating whether to do another one, but really and truly, I think I just want to bind all three together now and just have it as one book. Even though I didn't finish my 100, I'm currently up to 59. It's a pity I couldn't get to 60. Darn it. But it's 1 to 59 in these three signatures that I've done so far. So I'm going to do some research to try and figure out how to bind this now. So I decided to use the heart on the flip because that way it's protected even though it's at the back. And I like how it looks. I really like how it looks. So I'm trying to get it to fit. I'm adding my little border because it looked like it was just really floating on the page. And it was too big. So I just cut it down for it to fit a little more comfortable. I'm going to add this piece to the top. I must say, working on this book, it helped me to create in a way that I don't normally I think because it feels more like a very small journal where I could do just about anything I wanted. And it wasn't about trying to get the perfect piece of art or the best art. You know, it was just about, yeah, this is what I feel like doing today. I'm just going to try this and try that. And, you know, I normally do that with my other journals, but this one it was still different. I don't know. I did it, but in a different way. I don't know how to explain it. It felt like I could be more scrappy in it, you know, and just throw whatever I want. And yeah, it is just my scrappy journal. I guess that's probably it. It's just my scrappy journal. It's more closer to it being a diary for me, I guess. A real diary. I know, as opposed to a fake diary, right? Oh, right. So this page, I found it was really dark and I really wanted to use this piece on the right. So I thought if I put a book page underneath, it would help it stand out, which it did. So now I'm just trying to configure how to add it onto the page. And I wanted to push those because I really didn't like the words. It's a university text. And, you know, I'm really not into that. So I didn't really want to see the words and try to figure out to read the words on the page, even though it's my personal diary and I'm not going to read it anyway. But there are certain things that I wanted covered. So I am covering it up. I'm using white paint and going through some different layers. When it dry, you know, when you dry it, it dries lighter. So I'm just going through the different layers and adding paint where I really want it, just to push those words back, but I could still see that there are words behind it. You know what I mean? I wanted to see that there were words, and I also wanted it lighter. So that was done, and I really liked it. Actually tied in with the kind of flower shape on the right of it, because that's kind of bright as well. I really like this page actually. And I'm going to stick that down over it and then see if I like it like that or if I want to add something else to it. It's interesting. I mean, I've done all together. Because I did it together, it's like a series, right? So I did all these 3 pages together, but yet when I add them each to the page, they're still different because I've added something new to each one, and I think that is very cool. So here I thought it needed obviously some splashes because I didn't do splashes for the whole time, and that's not okay. So now I added the splashes, and when I thought I was done, I was like, nah, we need to add something on that white. It's just too white. So I brought in my orange splashes to tie in with the orange on the right cut out, and then I thought let's add even more. So I'm just smooshing some around with the paintbrush, and you know when you scratch an itch and your eyes just roll back in your head and you just be like, oh, that's how I felt when I added the orange. Like, yes, this is it. So I'm done. I am done. I'm just gonna go through quickly and look at my pages to make sure actually that it's actually all done. Because, you know, you could kind of skip. I love this one, that it's kind of, you could see behind it. I thought that was a flip. I thought some part of the heart was flipping open. But no. And these are my pages. Oh, right. So this page has a flip up on top here. So I thought let's add something there because it's just too blank. So that's why I was looking through as well to see if I needed to add anything anywhere else and to make sure I was done. So I'm just putting a little piece there and adding a strip of the book page to the top of that line just to give it a nice little highlight. And I decided that I was done with that. See, normally in my other journal, I would never have left this like that. So I really like this for that. So I brought up my other signatures, and we're going to do a quick flip through, if you all don't mind. If you do mind, you could just end the video. But yeah, these are my 3 signatures. I'm just, showing you all some different textures that's in it. So of course it feels amazing. It's nice and chunky. It started off so flat. I couldn't wait to chunky it up. I was like, oh gosh, we need to put stuff in here. This one was very nice to do. It was interesting and fun adding all those textures with the cloth. This is texture piece. It's very rough. It feels lovely. This is a very inspiring book, for me anyway. I love the feel of it, and it's actually visually inspiring as well. Inspiring. So then there's this one, and I feel I like that they are all different. Each signature is different. It feels different. It feels like an entirely different book for me anyway. This one is actually palette sticks, the lolly sticks. And this one I used a piece of lace. So cool! I enjoyed this so much. I love this page. This was an image I stuck down and I added to it. And then this one I painted on the cloth. I enjoyed this so much. Cloth feels a bit stiff now. Definitely much stiffer. And on this side is cloth as well. I did a collage. This one reminds me of my daughter, because her hair is similar, but thicker and curlier. And she's always in front of the mirror combing it, trying out some style. And then I'm going to go over this one again, show you my 3D butterflies. They're so pretty. Oh my gosh. But you see, if I go through this book a month from now, I'll remember them and, get an idea to do something 3D. So, and then these are some cardboard pieces I stuck down on my see-through heart. I love this. Love these. And then there's this. I found, and here is too plain. So I found some words. Where God sends me, He defends me. When God leads me, He feeds me. When God guides me, He provides for me. So that was a nice reminder for me. And encouragement. So I'm going to stick that down behind. So when I open it, it's going to open one time. I find that so cool. So not planned. I was actually looking for something else and I saw them there. I was like, hey, maybe I could use it at some point. And I'm using it now. So yeah, there's a purpose in everything, right? It's a wonderful reminder. And then this one I found was too plain. So I'm just trying to add a flower. I'm going to use my whiteout, but I've never used one like this before. So I thought, you just shake it and draw and it would come out. But no, I have to squeeze and press down, which I figured out as I went along. I didn't know. I normally use the brush one to shake, open, and brush on a page. That's the one I usually use. So this was interesting. I know I kind of messed it up, but like I said, this is my scrappy diary, which I love so much. I love so much. And I'm just putting in the flower. I didn't really like it, so I went over it with the black pen. And this is it. So my next plan is to get these all in one, put them all together in one book. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you in the next video. Bye!